On the bustling planet of Zalathar, Captain Alex Harris moved stealthily through the shadowy underbelly where few humans dared to venture. His mission was clear: gather intelligence on the underground slave markets that might hint at a looming alien threat to Earth. As the commander of a skilled team of mercenaries, he was no stranger to the darker side of interstellar politics, but the inhumanity he witnessed in the slave pits of Zalathar still shook him to his core. "Stay sharp," Alex whispered into his communicator, his eyes scanning the crowded market. His second-in-command, Lieutenant Marco Diaz, kept close, his hand resting on the blaster concealed beneath his jacket. "Got it, boss. This place gives me the creeps," Marco replied, eyeing an alien merchant who glared at them suspiciously. Alex and Marco maneuvered through the throngs of aliens, their disguises barely concealing their human features. As they approached the central auction block, a sudden commotion drew their attention. A blue-skinned alien woman was dragged onto the stage, her chains clanking loudly. Her fiery red hair contrasted starkly against her pale skin, and even from a distance her defiant glare was unmistakable. "That's her, the one I told you about," Alex said, his voice low. "I saw them bring her in last week. Haven't seen anyone look that defiant and unbroken." Marco followed his gaze, frowning. "You're thinking what I think you're thinking?" "I'm thinking we've got a new mission priority," Alex confirmed, his decision made in an instant. He pushed through the crowd, reaching the front just as the bidding began. 5,000 talners, shouted a burly trader from the back. 6,000, Alex called out, locking eyes with the woman on the stage. There was a spark of surprise in her gaze, quickly masked by her stoic demeanor. The auctioneer, a slimy creature with too many eyes, grinned greedily. "Do I hear 7? Come now, she's worth much more with all that spirit." The burly trader glared at Alex, raising the bid. 10,000! Alex didn't hesitate. 15,000 talners. The crowd murmured, and the trader backed down, cursing under his breath. The auctioneer banged his gavel, and the blue-skinned woman was led down to Alex. "What are you doing?" she hissed in a low, harsh whisper as they led her away from the auction block. Her eyes were wary, searching his face for a hint of his intentions. "Saving you. At least, that's the plan," Alex replied, guiding her through the crowd with Marco covering their escape. "And why would a human care about my fate?" Her voice was laced with suspicion, yet there was a hint of curiosity there too. "Because no one deserves to live in chains," Alex said, meeting her gaze squarely. "My name is Alex Harris, and this is Lieutenant Marco Diaz. We're getting you off this rock." The woman studied him for a moment longer, then nodded slightly, accepting the provisional alliance. "Zithra," she introduced herself, her voice steadier now. "And I suppose I owe you my thanks, Alex Harris." As they reached the outskirts of the market, alarms began to blare. "Looks like our exit just got a lot more complicated," Marco said, drawing his blaster. "We'll cover more ground if we split up. Zithra, with me," Alex commanded, already moving towards a narrow alley that would lead them to their hidden ship. Zithra, still in chains, moved with surprising agility, keeping pace with Alex as they dodged patrols and navigated through the dark streets. "You're taking a big risk for a stranger, Alex," she said, her tone a mix of gratitude and bewilderment. "Let's just say I'm not a fan of bullies, no matter what planet they're on," Alex replied, his voice firm. "And something tells me you're going to be worth the trouble." Their eyes met briefly, an unspoken understanding passing between them. Alex saw not just a slave in need of rescue, but a potential ally in the brewing storm. And Zithra saw not just a savior, but a man who might just change the course of her life forever. Zithra's chains clinked softly as she and Alex dashed through the narrow, shadow-cloaked alleys of Zalathar's outer district. Alex glanced back at her, admiring her resilience despite the obvious discomfort of the cold metal binding her wrists. "Almost there," Alex reassured her, pointing towards a less populated area that led to their hidden spacecraft. "Once we're off this planet, we'll get those chains off you." Zithra nodded, her breaths quick and sharp as she kept pace with him. Her mind whirled with the sudden turn of events. Freedom was a concept so alien, yet here she was, running towards it alongside a human she barely knew. Suddenly, a squad of Zalathar guards rounded the corner ahead, their weapons drawn and aimed. "Stop right there," the leader commanded, his voice a guttural growl. Alex pulled Zithra into a doorway, pressing back against the cold metal wall. He whispered into his communicator. "Marco, we're pinned down at Sector 7. Need extraction, pronto." "Copy that. On my way." Marco's voice crackled through the communicator. Alex looked at Zithra, his expression calm, despite the imminent danger. When Marco arrives, things will get a bit hectic. Stay close to me. Zithra's eyes hardened with determination. I didn't expect a quiet escape, she said, a ghost of a smile flickering across her face. The sound of a spacecraft approaching broke the tense silence. Marco's ship, a sleek, battle-scarred interceptor, descended toward them, its side hatch opening. Jump on! Marco shouted over the roar of the engines. Alex fired back at the guards, covering Zithra as she sprinted towards the ship. Just as she reached the hatch, a guard's shot grazed her side. She winced, clambering aboard with Alex's help. Are you hit? Alex asked, pressing a hand against her side. It's nothing, Zithra gritted out, though the pain was sharp. She refused to show weakness now, not when freedom was so close. As Marco piloted them away from the chaos, Alex tended to her wound, his hand steady. You're safe now, Zithra. You're with us, he said, meeting her gaze. Why are you helping me? Zithra asked, her voice a mix of wonder and suspicion. What do humans gain from aiding someone like me? Alex paused, his eyes searching hers. Not everything we do is a calculation of gain, Zithra. Sometimes it's about doing what's right. We humans have our flaws, but many of us still believe in justice. Zithra considered his words, her previous encounters with humans having been far less noble. And what now? She asked. Now, Alex replied as he finished bandaging her wound. We get you officially freed from those chains, and then we figure out how to use what you know to help prevent a war that could consume your world and mine. As the ship sped away from Zalithar, Zithra looked out the window at the receding planet. A mix of relief and apprehension filled her, knowing that the path ahead would be fraught with new challenges. Yet, for the first time in her life, she felt a stir of hope about what lay beyond the horizon. Together with Alex and his crew, she was not just a fugitive, but a key player in a larger battle for peace. The stakes were high, but she was no longer alone. The Earth's horizon, a brilliant curve of blue and white, greeted Zithra as Alex's ship descended through the atmosphere. Her gaze was fixed on the window, her thoughts a tumultuous mix of anticipation and uncertainty. Freedom was a heady, overwhelming experience, especially when viewed against the backdrop of her new, vibrant sanctuary. First time seeing Earth up close? Alex asked, noting her rapt attention. Zithra nodded, her voice a whisper. It's beautiful. Wait until you see it from the ground, Alex said with a smile. He led her through the ship's corridors to the debriefing room, where they were met by a group of Alex's team and a few officials from Earth's Defense Council. The room was stark, utilitarian, but to Zithra, it symbolized something far greater, a chance to be heard. As everyone settled, Alex introduced her formally. This is Zithra. She has vital intel about the forces planning to target Earth. The council members exchanged serious looks. One of them, General Carter, leaned forward, his expression skeptical. You understand, Miss Zithra, the gravity of your claims? We need to know everything about their technology, strategies, weaknesses. Zithra straightened, her resolve firming. I understand, and I'm ready to share everything I know. Not just to help Earth, but to stop those who perpetuate slavery and oppression across galaxies. The debriefing lasted for hours. Zithra detailed the military capabilities of the Zalithar Consortium, the political factions, and the potential vulnerabilities of their invasion plans. Alex watched her, impressed by her composure and depth of knowledge. After the session, as the room cleared, General Carter approached her. Your help is invaluable, Zithra. We'll do everything we can to protect you here. Thank you, General, she replied, her heart lightened by the promise of safety. Alex escorted her out, suggesting a walk through one of Earth's famous botanical gardens to clear her head. As they strolled among the lush greenery and vibrant flowers, Zithra felt a sense of peace she hadn't known in years. You did great in there, Alex said, breaking the silence. It's strange, Zithra confessed, looking around. To be valued for my mind, not just seen as a tool or a trophy. Alex stopped, facing her. You deserve respect, Zithra. Here, you're free to be whoever you want to be. Their conversation drifted to lighter topics, Earth's culture, its history, and its people. Alex was a patient teacher, answering her curious inquiries. Zithra found herself laughing for the first time in a long while, her fears momentarily forgotten. The day drew to a close with a dinner at a quiet, secluded restaurant overlooking a serene lake. The Earth's sky transitioned from azure to a dusk filled with strokes of pink and orange. a sight that left Zithra breathless. As they dined, Alex broached a more personal subject. Zithra, you've been given a provisional status here, but there's more we can do to make you a permanent resident. A citizen. Zithra paused, the weight of his words sinking in. I would like that very much, she admitted, a hopeful smile dawning. Then consider it settled. We'll start the process first thing tomorrow, Alex affirmed, raising his glass in a toast. To new beginnings, Zithra echoed, her voice steady and optimistic. As the stars began to dot the night sky, Zithra felt a profound connection to this strange, wonderful planet that was now her home. For the first time, she dared to dream of a future filled with possibilities, her former chains nothing more than a distant memory. With Alex by her side, she was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, knowing that here on Earth, she was no longer a slave, but a free and respected being. Back at the secure military compound where Alex and his team were stationed, the atmosphere had grown tense. Reports of unusual spacecraft sightings near the outer colonies had been escalating, and the evidence Zithra provided had become a cornerstone of Earth's defense strategy. One morning, Alex found Zithra deep in conversation with a team of engineers and military strategists. She was pointing to designs and schematics on a large holographic display, her insights proving invaluable in understanding the enemy's technology. Good morning, Alex greeted as he approached the group. His eyes met Zithra's, noticing the dark circles under them. You've been working through the night again? Just making sure they get everything right, Zithra replied, giving him a small, tired smile. General Carter joined them, his expression serious. The Council has decided to move forward with the countermeasures you two have proposed. We're accelerating the production of the antimatter disruptors you've detailed, Zithra. That's excellent news, Alex said, nodding in approval. But let's make sure our defenses are up first. We can't afford to be caught off guard. The next few weeks were a blur of activity. Earth's defenses were strengthened with new technologies inspired by Zithra's knowledge. Meanwhile, Zithra herself began to feel more at home, her initial wariness fading as she made significant contributions to Earth's safety. However, the sense of impending doom grew stronger when an urgent message arrived from an outer colony. An alien fleet had been spotted near their space sector. Immediate action was required. We have to intercept them, Alex decided, quickly organizing a response team. Zithra, you're with me. Your expertise could make a crucial difference. Zithra nodded, her resolve hardening. Let's go show them that Earth is not to be underestimated. As their ship sped through space towards the coordinates of the alien fleet, Alex briefed his team on the battle strategy. Zithra's plan utilized a series of decoys and electronic warfare techniques to disrupt the alien communications, giving Earth forces a tactical advantage. When they arrived at the location, the situation was dire. The alien ships were already positioning themselves in an offensive formation. Alex piloted their ship into the fray, dodging incoming fire with skillful maneuvers. Zithra, now! Alex shouted over the roar of the engines and the blare of alarms. On cue, Zithra activated the electronic countermeasures they had prepared. A burst of static filled the screens as the alien ship's communications faltered. Confusion spread through the alien ranks, their coordinated attack breaking down. Our turn, Marco said grimly, taking control of the ship's weapon systems. He fired a volley of the newly developed antimatter missiles, which found their targets with devastating accuracy. The battle raged on, Earth forces slowly gaining the upper hand thanks to Zithra's tactics. However, a sudden, powerful strike from an unseen alien cruiser rocked their ship, causing critical damage. We've got to pull back, Marco yelled, struggling to maintain control. Alex looked over at Zithra, who was bracing against the console. We're not done yet, he said, determination etched on his face. Together, they managed a risky maneuver that brought them alongside the alien cruiser. With precise shots, they disabled the cruiser's main weapons, giving other Earth ships a chance to strike. Breathing heavily as they retreated from the battle zone, Alex and Zithra shared a look of relief and triumph. We did it, Zithra breathed, her voice a mixture of awe and exhaustion. Yes, we did, Alex agreed, putting an arm around her shoulders. Thanks to you. As they returned to Earth, the reality of the ongoing conflict settled in. They had won a significant battle, but the war was just beginning. Earth was now fully engaged in a struggle for its very survival, and Zithra was at the heart of it, no longer just a survivor, but a defender of her new home. The war had escalated rapidly. Following the skirmish near the outer colonies, alien forces began a full-scale invasion of Earth. Every day brought news of battles fought in space and on the ground. The planet was on high alert, its people united against a common threat. Alex and Zithra, now integral to Earth's defense strategy, prepared for what could be the decisive battle. In the command center, a room filled with screens and tense military personnel, General Carter reviewed the situation with Alex and Zithra. Our satellite network picked up a large fleet moving towards Earth's orbit. It's now or never, he declared grimly. We have the plans in place, General, Alex responded confidently, his hand resting on Zithra's shoulder. Zithra's insights into their tech have been invaluable. We're ready. Zithra nodded, her face set with determination. The disruptors are in place. When they enter the range, they'll be hit with a barrage of interference. It should give our pilots the edge they need. As the alien fleet approached, Earth launched its counteroffensive. Spacecraft equipped with the latest antimatter technology and electronic warfare tools designed with Zithra's help moved to intercept the invaders. The skies above Earth became a dazzling display of light and destruction. From the command center, Alex and Zithra watched as the battle unfolded. Each explosion marked loss and sacrifice. Zithra's heart ached with each ship lost, but her resolve never wavered. Suddenly, the main screen flickered, showing an alien ship breaking through the defensive line, heading straight for Earth. They're trying to land, one of the technicians shouted. If they deploy ground forces, it'll be much harder to stop them. Alex turned to Zithra. I need to go up there. Help coordinate the defense from here. Zithra reached out, gripping his arm. Be careful, Alex. With a reassuring nod, Alex suited up and joined the next wave of pilots heading into the fray. Climbing into the cockpit of his fighter, he felt the weight of the responsibility on his shoulders, not just to fight, but to return to Zithra. The battle in space was intense and chaotic. Alex maneuvered his ship with precision, taking down enemy fighters. Yet the main alien cruiser was dangerously close to deploying troops onto Earth. In a desperate move, Alex and his squadron focused all their firepower on the cruiser. The ship's shields began to falter under the onslaught. Just then, a squadron of alien fighters swooped in, firing relentlessly. Alex's ship took several hits, alarms blaring, warning of critical damage. Back on Earth, Zithra watched helplessly as Alex's signal flickered. Holding her breath, she waited, hoping for a miracle. Then, the screen showed the alien cruiser exploding in a brilliant burst of light, the result of a direct hit to its engines. A cheer erupted in the command center, but Zithra's eyes searched for Alex's signal. It finally stabilized, his voice coming through. I'm okay, he reported, his voice filled with fatigue but victorious. Heading back now. When Alex landed, Zithra was there to meet him. They embraced, relief and joy mingling with the exhaustion of battle. Around them, the team celebrated, but both knew the war wasn't over yet. There would be more battles, more strategies to devise, and more sacrifices to make. However, that moment marked a turning point. Earth's forces had won a significant victory, proving that they could defend their home against the alien threat. With Zithra's help, humanity was not just surviving. It was fighting back with hope and fierce determination. After their hard-won victory, Earth's defense forces regrouped and reassessed. The alien fleet had been dealt a significant blow, but intelligence suggested that the enemy was far from defeated. They were regathering strength for another assault. Alex and Zithra, celebrated as heroes, knew the brief respite was just that, brief. In the war room, filled with maps and live feeds from satellite surveillance, Alex discussed the next steps with his team. We need to capitalize on this momentum, he declared. We push them back now while they're scrambling. Zithra, who had been working tirelessly with the tech teams, added, I've identified a pattern in their communications. If we can launch a series of targeted strikes on their relay stations, we might cripple their coordination long enough to take out their command ship. General Carter nodded, impressed by her insight. That's our play then. Prepare the strike teams. As preparations began, Zithra's familiarity with alien technology became invaluable. She helped design specialized equipment that could disrupt alien communications, giving Earth's forces the edge they needed. The operation was risky. Alex led the strike team with Marco and several other seasoned pilots. They flew through enemy territory, evading patrols and navigating through hazardous debris fields left from previous battles. Zithra monitored the mission from the command center, her voice a constant guide in Alex's earpiece. You're approaching the first relay station. You should see it just beyond that asteroid field, she directed. Alex maneuvered his ship with precision, the station coming into view. I see it, Deploying charges now, he reported. Explosions lit up the space as the station erupted in flames, its destruction ensuring a lapse in the enemy's defense network. One by one, they took out the relay stations, but as they approached the location of the command ship, an ambush awaited them. A fleet of alien fighters emerged from stealth mode, their weapons charging. "It's a trap," Marco warned over the comm. Alex gritted his teeth. "We fight through. Stick to the plan." The battle was fierce. Alex and his team fought valiantly, but the enemy was relentless. Just as their situation seemed dire, a massive barrage of fire support came from Earth's orbital platforms, a strategy Zithra had orchestrated as a backup. With the alien forces in disarray, Alex led a final charge against the command ship. The battle raged, and at a critical moment, Alex found a weak spot in the ship's armor, exposed from previous skirmishes. "Targeting the command module," he communicated, lining up his shot. With a steady hand, he fired, watching as the missile soared through space and struck true, causing a catastrophic chain reaction within the ship. As the command ship exploded, the alien fleet's formation broke. They began to retreat, their coordination shattered. Back on Earth, the command center erupted in cheers. Zithra, relief washing over her, felt tears prick at her eyes. Alex's voice came through the comm, tired but triumphant. "We did it! Heading home." When Alex returned, the reunion between him and Zithra was nothing short of emotional. They embraced tightly, knowing they had turned the tide of the war. "We've crippled their command structure," Alex said, holding Zithra's gaze. "They won't recover from this quickly." Zithra smiled, her heart full. "Thanks to you and your bravery." "And your brilliance," Alex replied warmly. As they stood together, the world around them celebrated. Humanity had not only defended itself, but had struck a decisive blow. The war was far from over, but for the first time, victory seemed within reach. Alex and Zithra knew the road ahead would be fraught with challenges, but they faced it together, their partnership stronger than ever. In the aftermath of their significant victory, Earth's military and political leaders recognized the potential for the conflict to widen into a protracted war unless a decisive diplomatic effort could be made. While Alex and Zithra were seen as military heroes, their next role involved navigating the intricate politics of a fragmented alien society. General Carter convened a meeting with Alex, Zithra, and key members of Earth's diplomatic corps. "We have a window of opportunity here," he stated, addressing the room. "We've intercepted communications suggesting there are factions within the alien alliance that are unhappy with the war. We need to reach out and see if we can turn them to our side." Zithra, familiar with the complex tribal and factional dynamics of the alien alliance, suggested, "The Tavani sector has been particularly hit hard by the war. They possess strategic resources but have been skeptical of the consortium's promises. We might find willing ears there." With a plan forming, Alex and Zithra prepared for a covert diplomatic mission to the Tavani sector. They were accompanied by a small team, including a skilled diplomat, Ambassador Lin, who specialized in interstellar negotiations. The journey to Tavani was tense, with the threat of detection hanging over them like a shadow. Upon arrival, they were escorted to a meeting with the Tavani leaders, a group of imposing figures with deep green skin and elaborate facial markings. Ambassador Lin opened the discussions with a formal greeting, laying out Earth's proposal for peace and mutual defense. The room was filled with a tense silence as the Tavani leaders conferred among themselves. Zithra then took the floor, speaking in the Tavani dialect, which she had learned during her years as a captive. Her words, expressing genuine understanding and shared grievances, seemed to resonate with the audience. "You have been misled as we have," Zithra explained earnestly. "Together, we can end this destructive conflict and build a coalition based on mutual respect and benefit." The lead Tavani, Elder Karn, nodded slowly. "Your words carry weight, Zithra of Earth. We have indeed grown weary of false promises and endless war. You propose an alliance, but it requires trust, something not easily given." Alex stepped forward, his demeanor confident yet respectful. "Trust is earned, Elder Karn. Let us start by assisting you with your immediate needs as a gesture of goodwill." Impressed by their sincerity and the strategic insights provided by Alex and Zithra, the Tavani Council agreed to a provisional alliance. In the days that followed, Earth's forces, together with Zithra's detailed knowledge, provided support to stabilize Tavani regions affected by the war. Word of the Earth-Tavani Pact spread quickly, sowing seeds of doubt among other sectors of the alien alliance. Soon, more factions reached out, expressing interest in negotiating their own terms with Earth. As the network of alliances grew, a new federation began to take shape, one that promised a more balanced and peaceful interstellar order. Alex and Zithra found themselves at the heart of these transformative negotiations, not just as warriors, but as architects of a new era. Back on Earth, as news of the successful negotiations spread, celebrations erupted. People hailed the dawn of peace, crediting Alex and Zithra's bravery and diplomatic acumen for steering humanity away from the brink of destruction. Reflecting on their journey, Alex turned to Zithra with a proud smile. "Seems we make a pretty good team, in battle and in peace." Zithra returned his smile, her eyes bright with hope for the future. "Yes, we do, and perhaps now we can look forward to a time when our meetings are about building, not fighting." Together they watched as the sun set over a peaceful Earth, their hearts full, knowing they had not only defended their world, but also paved the way for a future where humans and aliens could coexist in harmony. In the months following the formation of the new Interstellar Federation, Earth experienced a period of unprecedented peace and prosperity. The alliances forged with former enemies brought new technologies, cultural exchanges, and shared goals that benefited all involved. Earth had become a pivotal member of this new cosmic community, and Alex and Zithra were at the forefront of fostering these burgeoning relationships. On a crisp, clear day, Alex and Zithra walked through the newly established Interstellar Cultural Park on Earth, a symbol of the planet's new role in the galaxy. Around them, children played beside sculptures that depicted heroes and historical events from multiple worlds, including Zithra's own. "Look at them," Zithra remarked, watching a group of Earth and alien children playing together. "They're growing up in a world so different from the one I knew. No fear of oppression, just peace and possibilities." Alex smiled, squeezing her hand. "It's the world we fought for. Hard to believe it's real sometimes." Their walk took them to a quiet overlook where they could see the sprawling city below, bustling with activity and vibrant with the contributions from many worlds. Here, they were meeting with diplomats from several alien planets to discuss the next phase of infrastructural projects that would further unite their societies. As they approached the meeting spot, they were greeted warmly by representatives from various planets, each expressing their gratitude and support for the ongoing projects. "Captain Harris, Zithra, your efforts have not only saved countless lives, but have created a future where our children can dream of the stars as a playground, not a battlefield," one diplomat said, a sentiment echoed by nods from the others. During the meeting, Zithra presented a new initiative to expand educational programs that would include learning modules from all Federation planets. "It's crucial that our next generations understand not just their own history, but the histories of our allies. This way, respect and understanding will grow naturally among them," she explained. The proposal was met with enthusiastic approval, and planning began immediately, with various planets offering resources, experts, and technology to make it a reality. Alex watched Zithra with pride, marveling at how she had transformed from a freedom fighter to a leader of peace. After the meeting, as they walked back through the park, Alex stopped and faced Zithra. "You know, I've been thinking about what we've accomplished, about how far we've come," he began, his voice earnest. "And?" Zithra prompted, a playful smile on her lips. "And I think it's time we thought about our own future too," Alex said, his eyes locking with hers. "Zithra, will you marry me?" The question hung in the air for a moment, a soft breeze playing with Zithra's hair as she processed his words. Then, her face broke into a radiant smile, and she nodded. "Yes, Alex, I will." Their embrace was a symbol of their journey together, from the darkest corners of the galaxy to the bright future they were helping to build. As news of their engagement spread, it was celebrated as another union between their worlds, a personal story woven into the larger tapestry of galactic harmony. As the sun set over the park, casting long shadows and bathing everything in golden light, Alex and Zithra stood together, hopeful and content. They had fought for a future where humanity and alien civilizations could thrive together, and now they were living it, ready to face whatever new adventures awaited them, together.